Call to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll read the mission statement. We are committed to academic achievement and success for all students in a safe environment. In partnership with families in our community, our mission is to promote confidence, inspire a passion for learning, and to prepare our students to become responsible global citizens. May I have a motion to approve the revised agenda?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. This time we'll go on to public comments. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes, as we all know. It's actually now 4. I think we'll update that. Okay. Who's up first?
Casey.
Casey?
All right. Good evening, everyone, members of the board, cabinet, the Monroe Woodbury community. For those who do not know me, my name is Casey Capon. I'm a second grade teacher at Pine Tree, a parent of 2 high school crusaders, and the executive vice president of the MWTA. As we get ready to kick off the 2023 school year, I want to wish all our students, staff, faculty, administration, and parents nothing but the best. I want to welcome the new staff joining us here in Monroe Woodbury. It was a pleasure to meet so many of you at new staff orientation. I look forward to working with you and learning from you, and the students of Monroe Woodbury are lucky to have you. Opening up a school year is no easy task. Thank you to our secretaries, custodial staff, nursing staff, and administrators who worked throughout the summer to get our schools ready to welcome back our students. From the pristine conditions of our buildings, the class lists and updates of schedules, the clearing of kids for sports and communication on health concerns, you are truly the MVPs of the summer. As the year begins, the Monroe Woodbury Teachers Association looks forward to working alongside not only the administration, but with you, the members of the board. We are asking you to please reach out to faculty and staff and ask questions. You play a vital role in making decisions that directly impact our students, and we want to help provide you with the full picture of what's happening in our classrooms and the areas that we are in need of additional support. The state is currently offering grant money for mental health recovery. At this time, we're unaware of a plan in place to secure that funding, and if shifts need to happen with already budgeted positions, we ask that that funding be allocated into PPS to address the mental health needs of our students. The needs of our current student body are not reflected in data charts. We cannot just look at numbers and get a clear understanding of what's happening on a daily basis. While our roles within the district are different, our goals are the same. We all want to support the students and families of Monroe Woodbury, and there is no better way to do that than by working as one. More than ever, the MWTA, the cabinet, building administrators, and the members of our Board of Ed need to work together, and we look forward to doing just that. Enjoy what is left of the summer. It is not over yet.
Thank you. Next is, I believe, Lorraine, and sorry, I can't see the last name. Loaning. Apologies.
Good afternoon. My name is Lorraine Loaning, and I'm a district resident. Tonight, I want to talk about Agenda Item 9.18, substitute rates. The rates of pay listed are completely inadequate considering Orange County, New York, according to the New York State Labor Department, has an unemployment rate for July 2023 of 3%. That is down 0.4% from a year ago. It is no wonder that attracting and keeping substitute teachers, bus drivers, and others is a struggle. When you value people and their contributions at a smidge over minimum wage, you should expect exactly what you're getting. I would encourage all of you to read an article in today's New York Times titled, "In a Hot Job Market, the Minimum Wage Becomes an Afterthought." There is a quote from an owner of a fast food restaurant who says that the minimum wage is almost irrelevant. I have to pay what I have to pay. Adults are not flocking to these jobs because they know their worth and increasingly have other options. I'm especially mad about the pay rate for substitute lifeguards. Typically in this district, these are jobs held by teenagers. Teenagers who might not know their value or know that they have agency to ask for more. This is not a sub-pay issue for lifeguards. I know a few who work regular hours at the district, and they also are getting minimum wage. This is terrible. It's also a little personal for me, as my eldest son was a lifeguard while a teenager, and I know the amount of effort and expense that goes into becoming a certified lifeguard. I want to remind you that you are counting on these kids to potentially save a life while at work. That is something that most people do not have to think about when going off to their gigs, but it needs to be top of mind for these kids. That is a lot of responsibility for a well-trained teenager. And I feel that paying minimum wage truly doesn't represent the value that they bring to this district. They should be paid more. Consider that right across the street from the pool is Woodbury Commons. The outlets there routinely start our kids at much more than minimum wage, and no special certifications or training is required. Imagine for a moment if something went wrong at the pool and one of these kids administered first aid or, heaven forbid, had to save a life. I bet it would be all over the district's social media, which is great, but how about a more tangible way to show appreciation for the better? You know, that would be better. I'm a taxpayer in this district, and there are a lot of things that you guys spend money on that are real head scratchers to me. But paying lifeguards more would not be one of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, and sorry if I get the name wrong, Ethan Serwinski. Good try. Please give your proper name, because, don't go off me.
All right. Hello there. I'm Ethan Cherwinski, a Monroe Woodbury class of 2019. Today I'd like to broach the subject of Monroe Woodbury's alumni outreach efforts, or rather the lack thereof. Since my graduation, I have received little to no communication from the district or any official alumni group in an effort to extend connections and keep the Crusader spirit going strong. As of this afternoon, there is no alumni group on LinkedIn. The one on Facebook is small, posted on sparingly, and focuses primarily on current events in the district, such as sporting events, rather than fostering greater alumni connections. This is in stark contrast to what I experienced when I graduated from Boston College this past spring. The Alumni Association had multiple speakers and sponsored events during senior week and engaged in a serious campaign to involve graduates in their communities on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. As a result of this onboarding, I am a part of a robust alumni network that traces back decades and will continue to grow for years to come. This process and the infrastructure is lacking at Monroe Woodbury, but seems to me like it would be a relatively easy thing to address. This can be achieved by helping graduating seniors create their LinkedIn profile and promoting the Alumni Association therein. This will help graduates get ahead of the curve with respect to their careers and network building, as well as begin the process of building an alumni base. This will of course take time due to its past neglect, but will serve to promote the district long-term and extend the connections made by students during their time in district. A phrase I heard constantly during my time in district was that once a Crusader, always a Crusader. Improving alumni outreach will make this more of a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. Now we'll switch to update on questions and/or comments raised from interested citizens.
We do. We have an update from a citizen who got up and spoke about our swimming program, and Dr. Hassler has a response.
Sure. At the last Board of Ed meeting, Ms. Loning spoke about the swimming enrichment program and swim classes. We actually, you're right that during COVID is when everything sort of fell to the wayside and there was limited pool use. We actually, even before you got up and spoke, have been having conversations with Mr. Wright, who oversees the aquatics program, about having our booster clubs being offered swimming programs, because since COVID and when enrichment kind of went away, the booster clubs of the various athletic programs have been running like camps over the summer. If you drive by over the summer, you probably see the soccer booster club having a soccer camp, the baseball booster club having baseball. I think basketball did it. We've been talking with them about offering things. We weren't able to get it off the ground for the summer, but maybe through the fall, like programs on the weekend, like the old swim classes, the way that it used to be, and it would be run by the swimming booster club that would be doing it. So we're in process. We're working on getting that up and running. Yep.
Only update?
That was the only one.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we'll switch to update on district goals.
Patrick, did you want to
Yeah, so I'll provide a brief update on the capital program referendum update. So I'm going to just give a little background. Some of you may have heard some of these things before, forgive me if you have, but I think it's useful to just sort of review things. So every 5 years in New York State, school districts, public school districts are required to do something called a building condition survey. They generally hire an architectural engineering firm, and they assess sort of the condition of the buildings as they are. From that, they develop a 5-year capital plan, and that is submitted to the New York State Ed Department. So the last time Monroe Woodbury went through that process, we also enlisted our architect to do a little bit of a deeper dive and more of a facilities assessment. So not only saying, how old is the roof, when do you need to replace it, they also looked into how are we using our buildings, what are some of the things we'd like to do in the future. It was a deeper dive. So from those two processes or reviews or assessments, we realized that our buildings are in need of capital improvements. And in most cases, it's replacement of original systems. I'm talking about like boiler, heating systems, that sort of thing, roof replacements. These are large, expensive capital projects that we needed to do. And so we moved forward with that process and had a referendum last year, December 6th, 2022. And we asked the voters to approve $115.6 million, authorize us, because in New York State, you're required for a capital project, to initiate a capital project, to have voter approval, authorize that expense. Now, this referendum would have touched every one of our buildings, like every building, not even the schools, but also the Ed Center, the MCC, the bus garage. We needed work everywhere. And I've said this before, the wish list was actually larger than $115 million. The wish list, and when I say wish list, it's not crazy things. It's things that were cut, like improvements to the cafeterias, new walk-in coolers. You know, I was going back and I was looking at the list. Some things you'd say are very basic. That was about $168 million. We cut that back to a number that we felt the community could both afford and support. Unfortunately, that referendum last year on December 6th was not approved. 1,004 votes were cast. So I think it was 460 yes votes, 544 no votes. So it was roughly 46% to 54%, 84 vote swing. So we was not approved by 84 votes. So we're proposing to go back out approximately a year later on December 5th, 2023, with a scaled down referendum. So this would be a subset of our original $115 million referendum. We had to make some tough decisions, and we're continuing to make some tough decisions with that. But you know, the idea would be focusing on life safety elements first, and by that I mean fire alarm systems, we're replacing that, adding security vestibules to buildings and schools that don't already have that, roof replacements, and masonry repairs, repointing, so we want to have the building envelopes in good shape, doing some limited HVAC work. And when I say HVAC, I'm really saying HV. There's no AC involved in this. It's heating primarily. And so based on that sort of scaled down referendum, we had to decide to not do certain work in certain buildings. And so we're at the point, we've met with our architects, our engineers, our construction manager over the summer. They helped us kind of prioritize things. We had an A and B list. We've recently met with the Capital Project Advisory Task Force. We've had some good discussions with that group about what the priorities should be. And we're at the point where we're trying to evaluate various financial scenarios, because one of the overarching goals or objectives was to have minimal or no budgetary and tax levy impact. And you know, we can do that with a few different tools. The capital reserve is one of those tools. So after tonight, we'll have $17.4 million in our capital reserve, which is great news, because 6 or 7 years ago, we didn't have anything in there. It's like a down payment when you buy a home, so you put more down, you have to borrow less. We are eligible for building aid in New York State, so it's about 70% would be returned to us, reimbursed to us over a 15 or 20-year period of time for capital work. And then finally, and I've talked about this a lot, we're in a period where we're retiring old debt. So we're paying off the bonds from the high school, and we can replace that with some of this new debt for these vital basic infrastructure repairs and replacements in our buildings. So the next steps will be to analyze those financial scenarios, decide where we want to be and what that final scope of work is, and I think that will happen, probably within the next couple of weeks. We'd like to, and I had sent an email to the board, potentially on September 7th, because the board's being brought together for a retreat, vote and authorize the referendum. So it's a bond resolution where we're authorizing both the referendum and then the borrowing if the voters approve that. And once we do that, we could either do it on the 7th or the next board meeting is September 20th. It'd be better in some ways to have it done earlier, because after that, it'll be full steam ahead on our public relations campaign. All hands on deck. We had a good discussion about that at our Capital Project Task Force Advisory Committee. So that's the update. Any questions or comments?
Can I just say one thing? One of the things that we did was after the referendum was defeated, we did a survey.
We did.
And we used some of that data to help drive what we did next. So it's important to let the voters know that we took that referendum that was not approved, but took the data from the survey to help drive us as to what to do next. And some of the things that they spoke about, one of the things I know was that they didn't appreciate that it was in this building, right? Because they felt like this is what they don't typically come here. It was not their normal voting place. So one of the things that we will be doing this year is we will be going back to Central Valley. Fortunately, that's a half a day, so we'll talk about the safety measures that we're going to have. The other thing, obviously, was the cost, right?
Right.
So all those things are driving factors for us, and as well as the advisory task force.
Right.
So it's important to just say that it not only got defeated, but we went out to the voters and say, can you tell us why this was defeated?
Yeah.
Give us some reasons why, because we knew we were going to come back out, but be able to respond to the community in kind.
That's a good point. I meant to say that. The other point that came from that feedback, the questionnaire, which we put out in January, was the Orange Ulster BOCES capital referendum that occurred in late October. So I think we got feedback that sort of muddied the waters a little bit. People were confused. Didn't we just vote on something? Can we afford both? So, I think clearly that probably had an impact. And as you said, Elsie, the location, people complained that it was inconvenient, and maybe it was just a big number, that folks couldn't support. So we heard you. So that's it.
Any additional questions? All right. Moving on, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 16th, 2023 meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Motion to approve the revised BOE meeting calendar for the 2023-2024 school year.
Motion.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, on my calendar, which automatically updates, the December meeting is listed as the 13th. However, this calendar says December 6th.
I think we changed it through an email
Yeah,
recently.
So which one is right?
6th, I believe.
6th.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion to approve the 2023 Board of Education Manual. Only changes this time around is just the names of our board members.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Personnel?
Thank you. I respectfully request approval for the items listed under the personnel, 9.1 to 9.22. I also want to acknowledge a few of our new hires in the audience this evening, beginning with Jack Birmingham. Jack will be teaching at Smith Clove. We have in the back, we have Gabby Hodges, who will also be teaching at Smith Clove. Marilyn Prestia will be our Director of Food Services. And a name you're familiar with, Karen Jordan, who will now be our Director of PPS.
All right. Welcome everyone to the team and to your new positions.
I'd like Lori just to talk a little bit about the sub rates. Do we have our new teacher sub rates on this?
We do. We have our new teacher sub rates on here. And when we talk about substitutes, we actually have, there's a shortage everywhere for substitutes. And what we've done is, to address that, we have, as you can probably have seen, we've gone out on social media, and we have begun, continued to recruit, I should say, substitutes.
We have
Our
our
social
spokesperson
media-
in the audience on.
That's right.
You might have, she's
our-
famous.
You may have
might
seen her on the
her.
billboards. And to address this shortage, basically what we have done is we've tried to recruit new people. We specifically tried to recruit some Monroe Woodbury retirees, or teachers who, there's a waiver in New York State, or they can continue to work for us, and there are several who have chosen to do so. But we increased the rates, and the rates that we looked at, the increase is based on looking across the county and comparing those to rates across the county, and making ourselves, enticing people to come here because they have choices. They have choices to go to other districts. We also added an incentive. The incentive is after 45 days, the rate will go up. And what the intention is there is that we will get people to come here beginning in September and work as many days as possible. And the rate will go up after 45 days, which hopefully will keep them, and the retention is going to be important. When we get our good subs here, we want to keep them here, and the rates are reflective of that mentality. The recruitment efforts have actually been very successful. We're seeing we're having more substitutes call our office in HR than we ever have before. So we're going to continue with that. We're in good shape, but we can never have enough substitutes. So you will see that we will be sending out, our next venture is sending out information to the entire community via a postcard. One of the areas that we do need substitutes in is bus drivers. We will be heavily recruiting for bus drivers, and teachers, TAs will continue as well. But we're seeing, we're getting a lot of calls, and I think that our efforts have been very successful. And Carol Spenley, thank you for that, because it's been going well, but we're not done. We're going to keep continuing.
And we're going to have some signs, am I correct?
Street signs.
Street signs.
So if you know anyone, bus drivers, teachers, we are looking for substitutes. And I do believe that the rates are comparatively with Orange
Competitive.
County, very competitive.
A quick question, when you say 45 days, is it like a month and a half, or 45 days of them being
It's
leveraged?
45 days within the course of the year. After 45 days within that year, they do not have to be consecutive days.
Got it. Okay, thank
But
you.
45 working days, and then the rate will go up.
Any additional questions? All right, thank you. Business and financial. Oh, I'm sorry, approval.
Motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion. I motioned.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Okay. All right. Welcome. All right, business and financial.
So I also respectfully request approval of business and financial items 10.1 through 10.8.
All right. Any
Motion.
questions?
Second.
Motion to acknowledge receipt of reports. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you. Committees on special education and preschool special education.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we are here, it says something different here, so I just want to make sure. All right, reports by Board of Education committees. Ms. Stacia.
Still putting together some dates, just waiting to hear back from a few people as to
I'll get it to you.
what dates are working, and then we should, I'll send it to Karen, and we'll put everything on the calendar.
I know Mike isn't here. Does anyone else speak to audit? If not, we have, it's not listed here, so sorry. All right, reports by Board and Central Office.
Just welcome to the new staff and enjoy the last few weeks of summer.
I'd like to say welcome to all our new staff and faculty. And I'd also like to mention that I attended the summer school graduation, which was absolutely lovely. And congratulations to all our graduates, and hope everybody has a great start to the school year. And enjoy the rest of the summer, because it is not done.
Welcome to our new teammates, and some that are staying with us and doing some great things for us. We appreciate that. And I'd like to just say about Prudence, I think she's retiring. So as a new board member, it took me about an hour to realize how awesome Prudence was, and how much she does. So I just really appreciate all that you do for everybody, including our kids. So thank you. Other than that, enjoy the last couple of days of summer.
Weeks. We have more than 1 week out.
Weeks.
I'm just dreaming.
I'd just like to say congratulations, Prudence. We're going to miss you. And congratulations to the new hires.
Oh, do I see tears?
No, no.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't see tears. I see tears. I'm sorry.
I'd just like to say congratulations to our new hires. I'd also like to welcome back our athletes who are on the field for the first time this year. Fall sports have opened, and I can't wait to watch them play and win. And Prudence, thank you for everything.
Same, congratulations to the new staff, congratulations to the retirees. I mean, it's bittersweet, but you're retiring, so that's, congratulations, that's great. Summer school graduation was awesome. It was a spectacular day. The weather was great, and I think, it's just always exciting to be able to see the families right with their kids when they get their diplomas. Congratulations and good luck to the athletes. Yes, there's still time left, but it feels like we're going. Yesterday was 6th grade orientation. Today was 9th grade orientation. So we are really welcoming our kids back. The buildings look spectacular. Thank you to the custodial staff. And we'll see everybody in a week.
So I think when we hit the 2-week to open mark, that's when things, really get real from all of our standpoints. We had new teacher orientation this week, which was a wonderful event. We had all of our new teachers and new teaching assistants gather up at the high school for the day on Monday. On Monday, they were introduced to all of our entire administrative team from across the district. There was a getting to know you activity in which you found out a little something about some of them. We have a near Olympian who is one of our new teachers. We have someone who's striving to become an Olympian as one of our new teachers. We have a sea glass artist, so if you're interested in that, I'm sure I could, connect you with her. And we did have a number of MW grads, which for some of the new teachers was the most interesting thing that they could think about themselves, and yet it was very cool to hear all that. That was followed by Elsie, Eric, and I presenting to the entire staff about the importance of safety and decisions that teachers and teaching assistants can make, as well as our expectations from across the district of our new staff. They then had a luncheon with their mentors, which is an important program throughout the district, where every new teacher and teaching assistant is teamed up with one of our in-house staff members or teachers, and we walked through the process of what they're expected to do and how they can get extra support through the school year. And then they got lunch, and that was a nice thing. And then Tuesday morning, they hopped on a bus or two to travel around the district and see all the schools, just to give them familiarity with that. And they finally ended in their own home buildings, or their new home buildings, to meet with their building administrators. So, thank you to all of them for coming. To that, we are ready to go. Just about. We'll be really ready to go next, Thursday. I know. I got, I don't get to talk about this much, but Prudence, like everybody else says, we're not gonna, take up too much more time. But thank you, and I know you mentioned tears, and they're probably more hours than yours, but thank you.
So congratulations and thanks to all the new staff and Prudence. Good luck, best of luck. I just want to mention also, just sort of a public service announcement, that next Wednesday on the 30th There's going to be, was that yours, Elsie?
Yeah, I was going to say, but you can say it.
Go ahead.
That's when I go last.
He beat you to it.
There is
He
going
beat you
to be
it.
a series of drills and training by local law enforcement at the high school from about 7 a.m. to about 1:30 p.m. So if you see cars, don't be alarmed. It's, it's a training and exercise that's going on. And so with that, have a nice evening, everyone.
Welcome to all the new hirees. You joined the best school district, I think, in the county and maybe the state. And congratulations to all those who are experiencing new roles. And Prudence, thank you for everything you've done. And to everyone else, let's make sure that we enjoy the last few days of summer, because it's going to be here before you know it, the start of the new school year. And have a great evening.
So I echo everyone's sentiments. Congratulations to the new hires. Prudence, I really wish I knew. I would have asked you more questions today. Like, you have to let me know how much time I have. But, oh, good.
You
Oh,
still have time.
plenty of questions. Yeah. So, yes, thank you, and have a great summer. There are still a week and 5 days, okay?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
funny.
As an educator, I know exactly how many days. Yeah.
We don't round down.
No, we do not, do not.
Never. I'll go, and then you
Sure.
go, you're the president.
Go right
so
ahead.
you're last. I want to echo what everyone has said. I do want to welcome everybody that's joining our district. This is a great district. I'm excited to welcome you. I'm excited to welcome back the kids. It's been wonderful without them, but it's quiet without them, and we're not used to it. So I think we just heard kids outside and playing sports, which is wonderful. We did welcome all these new teachers. It was really nice to see these people who are excited about joining us. We even took a selfie. So I'm excited about that. I did that without you, Carol. And so lastly, and summer school was wonderful. I want to thank the teachers and the administrators for doing an amazing job and making sure these kids got a great education and graduated. We had 19 seniors graduate over the summer, so that was a really great accomplishment. And last but not least, I just want people to know that putting this production together is not done just by us. And Prudence is someone who does an amazing job. She will tell us we've got 3 minutes. Sometimes she has to yell at us that she has 2 minutes. Sometimes she's scolding us that we have a minute left. But I just want the people in the audience to know that everything that we do is really a team approach, and she is instrumental. So I have some flowers. I'm not going to give them to you now because you're going to get a little emotional, and then Lori's going to cry, and then I'm going to cry. I'm not crying today.
I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture.
No, but I just want to say thank you from all of us to you. You've been instrumental. You're still not gone. There's still a couple of more weeks, maybe even, I think, a whole month left. But, so you have time,
Yes,
Maurice, call
thank you.
her. She is amazing, smart, and I thank you for everything that you've done for us. So thank you, Prudence. Thank you.
I can't really follow that up with much other than thank you. I haven't known you as long as everyone else has. So what I've seen, I mean, you said that it takes a lot of people to make this happen. We just kind of show up and sit down and go to work. There's a lot of stuff happening before we get here that is actually important for anything to actually work. So thank you. Much appreciated. And to all of our new hires and people in new roles and responsibilities, once again, welcome. I think we know what we expect from people, so I'm not going to go into all that. So at this time, I did have a question, sorry, for Patrick. The training on Wednesday, is it going to be a message to people any other
Yes.
way other than here?
Yes.
Because I'm sure lots of people watch this, but.
We will take the message out there, yes.
So in my line, what I was going to say was, there's a statement that will be posted on the website, and
okay.
social media and signs will indicate that. And I know that Mrs. Soto is going to be sending an email to her staff, because they may be there. So it'll be posted, you'll see signs that say this is what's going on, so people don't, worry or concerned to see all this police presence. But we're excited to have them here, because it's really good that they're doing this drill in in our biggest building.
Especially so close to the start of school.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
All right, well, thank you. So with that, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.